wish she indicated to me
Yeah,
when
she did, sir. She indicated. Abby is waving to you.
Oh, I can't go.
No, she was just waving to you. Just leave it where you need it.
What's that one girlfriend? That's what I do that one. What? I did that. Should take on now.
Good morning. Good morning, Carol. And if you hear a song in my voice this morning, I'm happy. This is a special day, wouldn't you agree? Not only is it Sunday at the Temple of Light, but this is a special Sunday. We are so happy to be here, and we're happy that you are all here as well, by choice. And welcome to all those who are joining us on the World Wide Web. We love you too. Let us begin as we begin all things with God.
Turning it on silent. I'm putting it on
Please
silent.
join me in an opening affirmative prayer.
I'm putting it on silent.
We
I didn't come back
in
on
the
the
beauty
phone.
and the joy of this moment. We give thanks. We give thanks that we are present to this moment, that we have the opportunity to express and to be here now. The Spirit of God fills this space. The energy that God gives radiates from each individual who chooses to be here in person or online or simply in mind. So I am knowing now that this morning's service, a perfect idea in the mind of God, now unfolds in right and perfect ways with the right words spoken, the right feelings felt, the right activities in mind and in our actions. I give thanks for this morning. I give thanks for our new senior minister, Rev Michele Synegal. And I truly give thanks that right where we are, we recognize God as fully present, fully active, as each individual. I give thanks for this morning now, and I release these words into that infinite love that has already made us. So it is. It says, compassion and caring are the ties that bind us together in mutual understanding and in the unified attempt to uncover the divinity in each other. And that's from this month's Science of Mind magazine. And if you don't know yet, Reverend Michele is an author. So part of the inspirational reading is coming from her book in small doses. And this is the part on grace, love, and forgiveness. It is not the law of religion nor the principles of morality that define our highways and pathways to God. Only by the grace of God are we led and drawn to God. It is His grace that conquers a multitude of flaws, and in that grace there is only favor. Favor is not achieved, favor is received. And that is a quote from C. Joy Bell C. Now, defined as the impersonal outpouring of God's love into its creation, grace is an unearned favor, a gift of God. It is God's continual, unfailing faithfulness to His creation.
God teaches us how to live and how to extend grace to others. Living grace, like any new behavior, takes practice. The adage, practice makes perfect, embodies one of the great laws of human nature, and as a law, it is never under any circumstances broken. There is no achievement without practice. So we forgive with grace. When someone offers you an apology, accept it graciously. Take the time to say thank you. It does not cost anything, but expressing thanks can show other people your gratitude and grace. Respond with grace. Has someone criticized you? If you do not like how the feedback was given, you can respond graciously. On the other hand, a quick anger response will leave you seething. So the sooner you respond with a smile and a calm spirit, the sooner you will be able to discern any truth in their words and make changes that you agree need to be made. Be aware of the needs of others. Show grace with your words. When speaking to others, use words that are kind and gentle. Of course, there are times we need to correct other people, but it never has to be done in a cruel or mean-spirited way. Find a way to say what needs to be spoken gently. Show interest in others. Indeed, it is appropriate to respond when people ask you about yourself, but try to ask a few questions of your own to learn about other people. Happiness is the spiritual experience of living every minute with love and grace. And there's an affirmation here. When I forgive, grace is present. When I listen, grace is present. When I aid another, grace is present. The grace of God is upon me always, and I extend it to others. Thank you, Reverend Michele. So it is. Let us now do our chant, which is found in the program, God is Love. God is love, that love surrounds me. In that love I safely dwell. 'Tis above, beneath, within me. Love is mine, and all is well. God is love, pure love. God is love, sweet love. That love is mine, and all is well. Let us do our affirmation of divine love. Divine love is doing its perfect work here and now. Divine love harmonizes. Divine love adjusts. Divine love prospers. Divine love foresees everything and richly provides every good thing for this church now. Divine love is now victorious, and so it is. And let us take that thought into a couple moments of silence. Okay, take a deep breath and come back. Everybody back? Let us do our praise song. What the world needs now is love. What the Thank you. Let us do the prayer of our center, which is on the flyer in the program and on the screen for those joining us online. Together, please stand. The Temple of Light, Center for Spiritual Living, is a sacred field embodying our spiritual community from which the Christ, peace, love, and joy emanate, to touch, to heal, to bless, to prosper, and to liberate anyone who comes into contact with it in any way. The light of the Christ illumines us, our center, and our environment. Our spiritual community is filled with and surrounded by the presence of God, and is growing from strength to strength. The power of God expands our consciousness of truth, guiding us ceaselessly along the paths of wisdom, spiritual growth, unfoldment, and attainment. We are blessed, and to God be the honor and the glory forever. It is. And so it is indeed. Please sit. Do we have any children? For real children. not just young at heart, for real children. Could you join me on the platform, please, so we can light the candle? Going to do the blessing?
I light this candle on behalf of all the youth of the world. Let us behold the Christ in them.
So it is. And the blessing is found in your program. We love you. We appreciate you. We salute the Christ in you. And we see you as shining lights unto your world. God is blessing you now, and so it is. Aren't they beautiful? We missed you.
I went on holiday.
So, let's do our mission song. The temple of light, the temple of light, the temple of light. We are a people with a vision, one with spirit on a mission. To touch, to heal, to bless, to prosper, to love and liberate anyone who comes into contact with us, anytime, night or day. The temple of light, the temple of light, the temple of light. We are a people with a vision, one with spirit on a mission. To touch, to heal, to bless, to prosper, to love and liberate anyone who comes into contact with us, anytime, night or day. Yay! Would that feel good? Wake up everything. Now, as the children go off, let me bring you the announcements for today, September the 3rd. Is the 3rd? Wow. Do we have anyone who is worshiping with us in the sanctuary today for the first time? If there is, would you please stand and identify yourself so we can welcome you to our hearts? There we go. Thank you and welcome. Our usher is coming to place a little sticker on your heart that says, "We behold the Christ in you." Welcome. Thank you so much. Hope to see you again. And for those of you who are online, if you're online joining us for the first time, just make a little indication so that you can be acknowledged online as well. Our beautiful flower arrangements this morning. This was a collaboration of creativity done in honor of our new senior minister, Rev Michele. And this is a gift of consciousness from Faye Kessler, Valerie Brown, Judith Deere, and all our floral angels. When we do it good. There's a flyer in the program with significant events. However, here are a few highlights. Our Tuesday evening spiritual mind healing service at 6 p.m. this Tuesday will be with Reverend Michael Record. Please join Reverend Michael for a conversation on the use of our spiritual principles. The link is shared through your email. So if you're not on our email list, get yourself on the list so you don't miss out. Now you all know that the first Wednesday of every month is our Labyrinth Walk. And this Wednesday, we will be honoring Courtney. So please join us Wednesday at 5:30. We will walk with a consciousness of love and peace for Jamaica and the world. And you may remember the notice that Courtney always would send out. Greetings for everyone. Peace, be still. Peace, be safe. Peace, be whole. For the in-person Labyrinth Walk meditation, plus contemplations and conversations of peace, health, and safety for self and family, Jamaica, the Caribbean, the world, and cosmos, and the entire universe of living and creative things. On Wednesday, 2023, on the Temple grounds, 5:30 p.m. Jamaica time, 6:30 p.m. New York time, 11:30 p.m. London time. Courtney. So if you can, please come out and do our Labyrinth Walk. We're also asking if you could please, now many of you attended Junette's Thanksgiving service last week. Please surround Eddie Polak and his family. Eddie's mother is journeying into the light as she makes her transition. Let us continue to affirm our consciousness of love for all of us as we deepen our understanding of the inevitability of life's unfolding. Eddie, we surround you with love. Now on to some exciting news. October 27th to 29th, you all know what date that is, right? You've been hearing it for months now. Our master class. Do you want to enjoy this one-of-a-kind experience? Say yes. Come talk to us about how you can find yourself at Jewel Paradise Cove in Runaway Bay, St. Anne. This is a spiritual fellowship on the shores of the beautiful seas of Paradise Cove. You register yet? Who registered already? What you waiting for? You can register online. Go to the Temple of Light website. You can register online. You can also come into the office and register. Okay, the cost is US $465 per person for double occupancy and $678 for a single occupancy, or its equivalent in Jamaican dollars. This includes transportation, work materials, and all other gratuities at the all-inclusive resort. So, you all know our speaker is Dr. Dennis Merritt Jones, a world-renowned author, and the themes are brilliant and inspired. In other words, you need to be there. Okay? It's going to be fabulous. The weekend is under the banner of creating a life of abundance filled with purpose and meaning. Now, there's a book which you can purchase. It's The Art of Abundance by Dr. Merritt Jones. It's not a must-have, but it's a nice to have. So come play, awaken, deepen, grow, and learn to thrive. This is what we do here at the Temple of Light, right? Okay. We have upcoming classes starting this month. Please look out for details. Reverend Sonia and practitioners Vance and Steve are bringing you the livingness of the Bible using the parables of the master teacher, Jesus the Christ. More excitement. How many of you have attended Poetry, Prose, and Rhythms? Believe it or not, this is the seventh staging of this series. Poetry, Prose, and Rhythms in the Garden, dubbed this year Playing, as in peace, love, and youth in the garden. Let us fill the garden created in this sanctuary on Sunday, September the 24th at 5 p.m. to enjoy Dr. Michael Arms playing with words, Miss Emily Elliott playing with strings, Mr. Sebastian Miller and friends playing music down the ages, and the Temple of Light youth playing with fashion. Sound like a whole heap, don't it? Guess how much it costs? 2,000 Jamaican dollars. Okay. 1,000 for youth. I know you can't be a youth if you are over 16. Okay. Proceeds are in aid of acquiring musical instruments for the youth ministry. Excellent cause. Together, we will make this venture a success. So come join us in the garden and get your tickets. Tickets are available right now. From Lilith, who is here, and also the office. And you can also phone in and say you want a ticket and pay online too. Okay? We won't refuse. Prayer support continues. A practitioner is available to pray with you immediately following our Sunday service. The number to call is 876-289-0907. And today, Steve Golding is having that honor. If you want to speak to a practitioner anytime from 8 a.m. to midnight, Monday to Friday, call that same number, 876-289-0907. For pastoral counseling, please call the office for an appointment. Now, for all that we offer, we accept and are grateful for your generosity, for helping us to be a beacon of light in the world. So if you wish to support our ministry financially, kindly visit our donate page at donate.templeoflightcsl.org, where you'll find all our banking details. Thank you, as together we support a world that works for everyone. That was a whole heap. This concludes our announcements. Please join me now in the first hymn, Love Changes Everything.
Love can make the summer fly, or a night seems long.
to do that. Yeah, why not? Now, like I said, today is a very special day. And our very special, she's not a guest, she's now family, Rev Michele Synegal. Let me tell you a little bit about her, if you don't know. She's an ordained minister with Centers for Spiritual Living, an author, consultant, master facilitator, certified life. She has served the Spiritual Empowerment Center in Baltimore, Maryland for more than 10 years, which motivated her to pen her first book, Inspiration in Small Doses. While in ministerial training, she concentrated on bereavement support, extending this care to many families during their experience of grief. She is president of Management Dynamics, Incorporated, a consulting firm specializing in diversity, equity, and inclusion strategies and training. As a master facilitator and certified life coach, she takes a human-centered approach to leadership and personal development, extending these skills into all aspects of her ministry. Writing and publishing are her most recent passions, and she has led numerous writers' groups and teaches online writing workshops for first-time authors. Any first-time authors out there still wondering and waiting? Here's your answer. Her second book, Widows Speak, was recently launched on July the 6th of this year. She holds a bachelor's degree in human relations and organizational behavior from the University of San Francisco and a master's degree in consciousness studies from the Holmes Institute. She believes her life purpose is to help others realize their divine potential. Please join me in giving a rousing welcome to Reverend Michele Synegal, our new senior minister.
Great rising. I am so happy to be here today, you all. And it didn't take long, did it? Yeah, just a few days over a month from the last time I was here, and now I'm here in this capacity. And I'm so honored, I'm so privileged, I'm so blessed. And I pray that I bless this ministry, this community, and each and every one of us in our own way is then much more uplifted and empowered to do our part for Jamaica and the world. And so wouldn't you know, I had a plan, but you know, when you plan something, what happens? The universe laughs at you. Because I had planned, if I came back, my next sermon was going to be choice, chance, and commitment. But then I get here and the theme for the month is love. But you know what? Flexibility is a spiritual skill as well. So you have to learn how to, as I like to say, bob and weave and go with the flow. So today we're talking about love. And I'm going to talk about it at a universal level, but then I'm going to hopefully make it personal to each and every one of you, because the theme for today is I love myself so much. So the focus is going to be on self-love. So it was Ralph Waldo Emerson who espoused that God is synonymous with love. And so if God is love, then love is all there is, because God is all there is, correct? And if you think in terms of the different virtues in the Bible, and I do refer to the Bible from time to time in other texts, but in the Bible, it talks about the virtues of hope and faith and charity, but they say at the very end, the greatest of these is, yes, love, is love. because love always prevails, love always endures. And so if we can make that be our mindset, our beingness, then everywhere we go, even though there's chaos going on, anarchy going on, if we look hard enough, we can also see that there is love unfolding in some way. The Science of Mind textbook defines love as the self-givingness of spirit through the desire of life, with the capital L, to express itself in terms of its creation. Each and every one of us, of course, is a creation of the Most High God. And so God loves itself. God needed to express itself beyond itself, and so created us, and we are the ones with the expectation of the Most High that we too not only express love, but genuinely be love. Be love. The New Testament posits, "He that loveth not knoweth not God, for God is love." Love is free from condemnation, even as it's free from fear. Love is, and these are my words, a cosmic force whose sweep is irresistible. It's contagious, is it not? When you see love exuding from someone else's beingness, just by virtue of their being in your space, it impacts you in some way. It makes you feel a different way because it is so pervasive. It's healing. It's blessing. It's the grace of God that Carol read about. So this month, we are being reminded to lean into love and to express it out loud. So the theme for the entire year is living out loud. And so this month, September, it's about living love out loud. And what I know is that can be challenging, can it not? Seeing love in every person, in every interaction, in every situation and circumstance, even for people who have practitioners and ministers committed their life, and all of you, to living higher, that could be trying. Trust me, I know. I met a customs gentleman this week, and I so tried to see the love. I just had to go within and pray and affirm, and ultimately it all worked out. However, but not without a little unrest, divine discontent. And so, of course, I have to live by my own words. And what is that? Is if you want to see more love, you've got to be more love, regardless of the situation, regardless of what is happening. And what I also know is that we can't be what we don't know, right? We cannot be love if we don't know love. And so the focus today is going to be on each and every one of you, focusing on love for yourself, having a very intimate, loving relationship with yourself. And like anything, it's learned behavior. Oftentimes we aren't born with it, especially if you are conditioned in a way where people are telling you other than the absolute truth of who you are. You know, sometimes people can be critical, right? And they're motivated by their own stuff. And most of the time, it's not even about us, but we don't know that because we feel the impact of it. And I always say intent does not equal impact. Even though you weren't intending to say something that was critical, that could knock my self-esteem down one rung, that's how it impacted me. So always, always be mindful that even though you weren't intending, you could impact someone in an adverse way. Self-love. In the Science of Mind textbook, it says that love is at the center of our being, and the calm, continuous pulsations of life are governed by love. So just think about that. When you feel at peace, when you feel that every single need, everything that you even think you might need, is supplied. You are loved. You are loved. And who is this that's providing this love? It's universal love. It's unconditional love of the Mother, Father, God. And if you want to experience, I term it equilibrium, equanimity. I'm a writer, I like words. Then that means that you truly have to know love. And it all begins right here with each one of you. Many studies suggest that we need self-love to take action, to take chances, and to take on new opportunities. Do you agree with that? Right? See, if you love yourself, then you also probably believe in yourself. And so when an opportunity avails itself, you're not going to hold back. You know, I love myself so much, I'm going to jump in. This is mine to do. So it's a motivator. Self-love motivates us to be all that we have the potential of being and becoming. It's not just a phrase that's become popular. It's very, very popular. In my newest book, I even have a chapter on it because it's so popular. And I say, oh, people can relate to that. But what does it really mean? So I'm going to give you a couple of examples, not a very specific definition because there really isn't one. And there really isn't one because each of us gets to define it in our own unique way. I do know that self-love grows from actions that support our physical, our emotional, and our psychological well-being. And I'll be the first to tell you. Now I'm going to go to my vernacular. I'm from New Orleans, y'all. I love me some me. That's the way we talk. I love me some me. And that is not, I love me some me. Some me. S-O-M-E, me. That's our patois. We have patois too, you know. Little lamsome, little lamsome. So anyway, what does that mean? In translation, I love myself is all that means. And that is not coming from a position of arrogance. That's coming from a position of knowingness. And what is it that I know? I know who I am. I know whose I am. And as a consequence, I want to pay all the honor and the glory to our Creator. And so there's nothing else I can do but love me. Love me some me. Self-love means having a high regard for our own happiness. It means attending to our own needs, not just everyone else's. It means not settling for less than what we all deserve. However, we must remember that everything is by right of consciousness. Self-love can mean something different for each person because we all have many ways of taking care of ourselves. And figuring out what it means to you, what it looks like to you, is an important part of your mental health. As I said in the bio, it was said in the bio, I am concerned about the whole person. Not just that aspect of you that you consider to be spiritual. No, we're spiritual. That's who we are. But then there are other aspects of our expression. We express our gifts and our talents through our work, through our volunteerism, through all of those things that we do. Those are aspects of us as well. But so is our health, our physical health, our mental health. All of that is a part of who we are. And so when I talk about loving ourselves, I'm talking about loving every single aspect of ourselves, no exceptions. For me, it also means being true to myself. Regardless of what others might think, regardless of what others might say about the choices that I make, because trust me, a lot of folks at home think I'm insane. You're going, where? I love myself. And regardless of what other people think or feel, I'm going to be true to me, my authentic self. What you see is what you get, you all. Self-love also encompasses self-compassion. They're directly linked. And when we have a high sense of self-love, we're able to look at challenges as temporary setbacks, or even as opportunities for our personal growth. And this attitude helps us to become, as I said, more flexible and more resilient. Self-love also means having high esteem because of nothing more than our beingness. You know, that's real important to me in terms of the work that I do. Because oftentimes I see folks who are different, whatever that difference is, not being treated with dignity and respect. And I become incensed. Now, that's my growing edge. I need to work on that. But just because we exist, we all deserve dignity and respect. But the thing is if we don't respect ourselves, we're giving people permission to be disrespectful as well. And so that's why I say it is so critically important that we understand this idea, we live this idea, we breathe this idea of self-love, because it actually manifests in how we show up, how we represent ourselves in the world, and people will respond in kind. Right? Self-love means prioritizing oneself, your needs, and satisfying your interests, as long as those interests and those needs don't harm. Giving yourself a break from self-judgment. How many of you are your own worst critics? Yeah? Yeah? So from time to time, I just have to give myself a break from self-judgment as well. But it's how we've been socialized. And it's hard to counteract that socialization. And so what am I talking about? I'm talking about the way that our brains are hardwired to judge, to assess, to evaluate. And so we turn that on ourselves as much as we turn it on other people. And why do we do that? It's not necessarily about the other people. It's all about us, so that we know how to behave in any given situation or how to govern ourselves. So the brain automatically goes there. And so it really takes a lot of work and a lot of practice to unlearn that behavior. And so when you find yourself just beating yourself up, stop. Just stop it. Give yourself a break from self-judgment. Extend the same grace and compassion to yourselves that you extend to others. Another way that we demonstrate our self-love, you all, is listening to the inner guidance and then acting on the inner guidance. It helps us to make the right decisions. It helps us to solve the problems that we are confronted with. And self-love is also being kind to oneself by getting adequate rest, holistic approach, yes? By pampering yourself. And yes, men, you deserve to pamper yourselves as well. I had a little pampering yesterday, thank you, Sandy. And the thing is, as I was getting my pedicure, there was another gentleman there getting one as well. I'm starting to see more men taking care of themselves. I'm seeing more men having body work done. And why do I pay particular attention to that is because I know that the world that we live in is stressful. And if you don't have a way of comforting yourself, relaxing, releasing all of that, you're either going to explode at the wrong time or implode, which is never, ever good. So again, you define self-love and self-care and self-pampering in your own way. I tend to like, to relax and have other people take care of me. But you figure out your way. Self-love is also about setting healthy boundaries. That means sometimes saying no, But we can say no with tact and diplomacy, can we not? There's a saying that a dishonest yes, you know, people who say when they really are feeling, no, I don't want to do this, but they say yes anyway. A dishonest yes to something that you don't really want to do is an honest no to yourself. It's an honest no to your personal accountability and integrity. And so then what happens? You're ill at ease because you are not in alignment with what it is you want to do, say, be, have. So learning to say no can be done, but we must do it with tact and diplomacy. And actually there's a method, but that's another sermon. I'll share that with you. It's called the USA method. And why do we always say yes? We always say yes because we think that being cooperative and always saying yes is a virtue. Saying yes is a virtue, but not all the time, not when it's going to be to your demise or your discomfort, yes? And so we have to muster up the courage to respectfully say no. When we can't bring our highest and our best self to those things that we're saying yes to. You know, sometimes people will say yes and then they do it, whatever the task is, half-heartedly. I'd prefer a no to that, right? So knowing what to give our energy to is important as well. And knowing what doesn't serve your highest good, you need to say no to as well. Self-love is a foundation that allows us to assert ourselves in that way. With a strong foundation of self-love, I can stand and look you in the eye and say, I love you, and the situation is I don't have the emotional capacity. However, when I do, call upon me. That was the USA method, you all. All right. Self-love is also forgiving yourself for not choosing higher. What does that mean? Not taking the high road in those situations that warrant it, those trying times, those trying situations. And I have a little phrase that I say when I am reflecting and I realize that, you know what, I didn't choose the highest course of action. I say, I did the best that I could with the consciousness that I had at the time. Say that. I did the best that I could with the consciousness I had at the time. Because I believe if my consciousness were higher, I would do better. If I knew better, I would do better. But in that moment, I wasn't there. So I did the best that I could. And so then, but it doesn't stop there, because that doesn't absolve me, right? What I then do is I vow to, in the future, stop, respond, and choose higher. I can't do anything about the past, but I absolutely can take responsibility for the future. So for those of you who need ways to practice self-love, here are a few ideas. Becoming mindful. Being mindful, practicing mindfulness, meaning that you're shutting out all of the chaos and all of the noise and all of the other voices, and you're in the silence. Be still and know. Favorite scripture. Be still and know. And people who have love for themselves in abundance tend to know what they think, what they feel, what they want, don't want. You want to take actions based on a need. By staying focused on what you need, you can turn away from those automatic, responsive behaviors to things, these patterns that we find ourselves in, and choose higher. What is in my highest good at this point in time? Also, when you love yourself, you don't stay stuck in situations that don't affirm life for you. You know it's time to move, and you find the courage to step out and step on and do something else. People high in self-love nourish themselves daily through healthy activities, good nutrition, exercise, intimacy, and healthy relationships. You know, sometimes we have to leave relationships that are unhealthy. And how do you know if a relationship is unhealthy? Is if you feel drained after being in someone else's presence. It's sucking all of your energy. You're giving more than you need to give. So that is not a mutually beneficial relationship to be in. So start loving yourself by mirroring that in what you eat, in how you exercise, what you spend your time doing. So be mindful of where you're spending your time. Also, self-love is about recognizing and accepting your human imperfections. Spiritually, we're absolutely perfect. And humanly, we have perfect imperfections. So embracing those, accepting those, and leveraging your strengths, utilizing your strengths to overcome those limitations. Because the alternative is not so pleasant. The alternative is without self-love, you're likely to be highly self-critical. You might fall into people-pleasing behaviors and patterns, or you might even seek perfectionism, which is grounded in fear. Without self-love, you're more likely to tolerate abuse or mistreatment from others. You may even neglect your own needs and your own feelings because you don't value yourself. And you may even self-sabotage. So hopefully I have built the case for loving one's self. And I trust that all of us here at the Temple of Light, we're here because we want to live life out loud. We want to love out loud. And we want to master living life spiritually. And living a spiritual life requires a consciousness and an understanding that spirit as love expresses itself as you and as me. So lest I remind you that recognizing the divinity in others begins with seeing it in your own self, recognizing your own divinity. So one last affirmation, if you would recite this after me, I will be so blessed. And that is, I am a child of the divine. And I recognize my divinity. Let's say that one more time. I am a child of God, of the divine, and I recognize my own divinity. So inspiring more love in the world starts with loving ourselves, and when we love ourselves, we love each other more fully. We begin to recognize that life is filled with love, and we see love in everything and in everyone, everywhere we go. The more love we see in the world, the more the world shifts around us, and others become transformed by the love that we exude. In turn, they may even begin to personify love, and then it catches on and catches on, and it creates this ripple effect in the world. So, in closing, here's what this one little thing that I thought was so powerful from a text that I read on an often basis. It's called Christ Returns and Speaks His Truth. And he says that loving ourselves raises our vibration. The higher the frequency of the vibration of our individualized consciousness, the higher and more perfect are the forms created in our mind, and thus our lives. So that's enough in and of itself, is it not? So I always say vibe high, right? You want to vibe high because that's what you will attract to you. So love yourself more. Know thyself. Knowing thyself means that you have to have an intimate relationship with yourself and love it all, your warts and all. Love yourself first and everything else will fall into place. Talk to yourself like you talk to the people that you love. You know, sometimes we're abusive to ourselves. Oh, you dumb thing, and you're hitting ourselves, and oh, why did you? No, talk to yourself in the same way that you talk to people whom you love. Fall in love with yourself, because that is the secret to happiness. And how you love yourself is how you teach others to treat you and to love you. So love is the essential existential fact. It is our ultimate reality and our purpose for being. To be consciously aware of it, to experience love in ourselves and others is the meaning of life. Be love. Be love. And so it is. Amen. Thank you.
Don't stop. What? I'm sure that touched many of you and inspired many of you. Thank you so much, Reverend Michele. Your family know you can't go away. How important is it to love yourself? Because in loving yourself, it allows others to love you, and for you to be loving towards everyone and everything. Okay? Recognizing I am a child of the divine, and I recognize my own divinity.
May I respond?
Nearest? Shh. Okay. Briefly.
I got up this morning and found out that somebody had stolen one of my bananas. And I felt negative about that until I heard the reverend this morning. And I know bless the person who stole the banana. I bless where those bananas will go. I bless all of that.
Indeed. Absolutely. See the ripple effect already happening. Okay? And when you bless, it blesses you. So, more banana today. So, birthday blessings. This is the first Sunday in September. Who has a birthday this month? Oh, John is October.
And I hope
Which
you
John?
all are celebrating and loving yourselves.
Oh. Please stand and get your birthday blessing. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear loved ones. Happy birthday to you. God is blessing you now. God is blessing you now. God is blessing you now. Happy birthday to you. Don't sit down yet. Don't sit down yet. No, don't sit down yet. You got to get your blessing.
If everyone could just hold your hands up, we're going to send some energy to all these September-born babies. We love you. Repeat after me, we love you. We bless you.
Bless you.
We behold the Christ in you.
We behold the Christ in you.
And so it is. Amen.
So it is. And we have more blessings to come. We are being blessed this morning by Rhonda with our musical item. Lord, make me an instrument Miss Rhonda, we love you. Thank you, thank you, thank you. We will now continue with the Prayer of Jamaica, which is found in your program and on the screen. Please stand. The Prayer of Jamaica together.
The radiant light of God's love is now flowing through us and from us to everything and everyone it touches. The eternal light of God's love now completely fills, covers, and surrounds our island, Jamaica. The glowing intensity of the love of God's love now interpenetrates and awakens within the hearts and minds of our countrymen and women the truths of life which set free. The light of God's love is growing and glowing in intensity in the hearts and minds of mankind everywhere. Love, health, harmony, goodwill, peace, uprightness, integrity, joy, prosperity, kindness, and our oneness under God are now established, and so it is.
Remain standing as we do our second hymn, I Radiate the Love. Thank you. I invite you now to take your love offerings in your hands. As we say the blessing that is found on the envelope. Lovingly I give, joyfully I receive. Be thou fruitful, increase and multiply. Bless, prosper, and enrich everyone whom you touch, and replenish all of my financial affairs. So be it. Thank you, Father, and so it is. And I will invite Rev Michele to do the closing affirmative prayer. Don't sit, remain standing.
So if we could just take that journey within and practice mindfulness just for a moment. Just breathe in the love of God. Feel it. Feel that you are loved, you are cared for, you are wanted, you are needed, you are desired, you are loved. And it's from that place that I bless each and every one of you online and within the sound of my voice. As you leave this convening of like minds, you go out into the world and you express love. For that is the purpose for your being. And the world is so much better as a consequence. We are grateful and thankful for all of the gifts, all the contributions, the donations received by the Temple of Light so that it continues to do its healing, loving work. We are blessed beyond imagination, and those who give with joy in their hearts receive joyously. Blessings will abound. So we leave this place uplifted and reminded that we are children of the divine, and we recognize the divinity within ourselves. And we let it be so now, and we anchor this by saying, and so it is. Amen.
Amen.
Ashe.
Ashe. We'll now sing the peace song. We've been singing love. And as we do that, if you could put your envelopes in the box in the front here. Yes, there is love on earth, and yes, it begins with me. Yes, there is love on earth, the love that was meant to be, with God as our Father. in the love there. Just a few reminders. Remember to join. Remember to join Reverend John tomorrow morning at 6 a.m. for Quiet Moments in the Garden. That continues Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. And join Reverend Michael on Tuesday at 6 p.m. for our Spiritual Mind Healing Service. You lie. One mind. One mind. And on Wednesday, come do the Labyrinth Walk. If you haven't done it before, come and do it to honor Courtney this time. Okay?